What is going on, ladies and gents? My name is Connor, aka President CM, and welcome back to another video on this lovely channel that I call home. Now, just a warning ahead of time, this video does contain spoilers for Halloween's 4, 5, and 6, commonly referred to as the Thorn Trilogy. If you haven't seen those movies, I recommend that you turn the video off and go back and watch those. Go out and watch those. Get them wherever you can. Watch it. Come back and watch this and see if you agree with the points that I make. Now, let's dive into what Thorn is and what it means in the Halloween franchise. Now, Thorn wasn't introduced until Halloween 5. And the trilogy is called the Thorn Trilogy because Halloween 4 starts, it introduces you to the characters that you see throughout the 3 movies and that have the biggest bearing on the story. So I see why they call it the Thorn Trilogy despite 4 not having any mention of it. It's introduced in Halloween 5, where a strange symbol appears on Michael Myers' wrist, and this strange man in black appears. It comes into Haddonfield and he has that same symbol on his wrist. And at the time that this movie came out, no one really knew what it was going to be about. You know, it came out in, I believe the year was 1989. No one knew what this was going to lead to. This was a very strange thing to introduce. It's a very strange thing. In fact, the year before was when the Halloween 4 had come out. So they rushed this into production. They rushed it into theaters. And no one knew what to think about it. No one knew. People were cautiously optimistic, especially after the end, where you saw the weird Dick Tracy type ending with, you know, the man in black, you know, shooting through the bars and taking out the police officers, and Jamie saying no before it cuts to black and the movie's over. Fans would have to wait 6 years until Halloween 6 comes out in 1995 to learn what the fate of these characters are and where they are taking this story. And I don't blame anybody for being disappointed. They took it in an interesting direction. In my opinion, it was one that ended up taking the franchise on a downward slope, despite the fact that I like Halloween 6 quite a bit. I just think there was so much missed potential. There was so many wrong things they did. There were so many strange elements that they introduced. Basically, the gist of everything was that Michael Myers was under the influence of a curse called the Curse of Thorn, and a cult that watched over him called the Cult of Thorn, where it basically influenced and enabled and in some ways tried to control Michael Myers to do what he did and to kill his family so that the curse could be passed on to another child. Once his bloodline is gone, the curse is lifted from Michael and he can move on, and I guess his soul is free, I guess you could say. Now they introduced a couple interesting things, like, you know, the whole constellation. Whenever Michael has attacked, it's been in the sky and it's shaped like Thorn. And you know, some of the elements that they did were kind of cool, but at the same time, they did it completely wrong, and that's what started to destroy the franchise, in my opinion. Mind you, everything I say in this video is going to be opinion-based. None of it is a factual. I'm not stating these things as facts. I'm stating them as opinions. And I'm going to tell you how I would have done the Thorn angle and how basically the movies could be fixed if they wanted to go back and make a sequel today. Now, I actually want to thank somebody in Killer Flicks. His name is Brad Thornton. I had a conversation with him in a comment section where I brought up my ideas, and he seemed to like it himself. And a couple of my friends who are big fans of the franchise that I know personally, they have all echoed what I've said to them and what I'm going to say to you in this video on how Thorn could have been a good thing and how I would fix Thorn if I were to come in and fix the Halloween franchise today. Now, Thorn, like I said, was introduced in Halloween 5. You had the strange symbol appear on Michael Myers' wrist, and that, to me, was a good idea. Where did the symbol come from? What does it mean? What does it mean to the rest of the franchise? The problem came when you introduced the man in black, because I know that, you know, the director saw... I believe the story is the director saw someone coming to set who looked like that and was so inspired by this mysterious man that he put that idea in the movie. But it doesn't work for a franchise like that. For a movie that is on its own, for a movie that that isn't a part of a well-loved franchise, I can understand taking that angle with it. But because you have an established story and a new storyline you're trying to introduce, it doesn't make a lot of sense to introduce a story element that is this completely mysterious thing that involves another character. So, how would I fix this? Well, it's simple. You take out the Man in Black completely. Nothing about the Man in Black is in the movie, and you just have this strange symbol that appeared on Michael's wrist and appeared in the Myers house itself. Which, you know, obviously I would add dialogue where Dr. Loomis is questioning where this symbol came from. What does it mean? Like I said, this is the new mystery surrounding Michael. What does this mean? That's where I think they should have taken it. By Halloween 4, you knew everything you needed to know about Michael Myers. He's going after his family, and that's his motivation, it seems. So where else do you take the character from there? What made him scary was this mystery that was about him. And in Halloween 4, you introduce this new aspect where he has this psychic connection to his niece. Take that and run with it. You know, the Thorn symbol was not on his wrist before. It's on his wrist now. It was not in the Myers house before. It's in the Myers house now. What does it mean and where did it come from? That should have been the mystery surrounding Michael Myers going forward, and honestly could have made him scary again. It could have opened up the door to a whole new set of rules for the character, a whole new idea for what Michael Myers was and what he was capable of doing. And in my opinion, you know, what I would have done is I would have kind of taken the angle of the curse intensifies for every failed attempt Michael has at killing his family, but I wouldn't have explained that. You know, you don't have to explain whatever direction you're taking it in. You don't have to explain it. Not everything in every movie has to be explained, but it has to be pondered. It has to be mentioned. If you bring up Thorn in the movies and you say, you know, say you wanted to take the same angle in the next movie that they did in Halloween 6, and you want Tommy Doyle to be the character that is researching this, that wants to figure out what is up with Michael Myers, and he gets some kind of information where he knows that there is a symbol on Michael's wrist that was not there before, and he wants to find out what it is. That could still be a mystery. He looks it up and he sees all these things that correlate with it. Is it Michael putting this symbol on himself? Is it Michael that's aware what this symbol is, or is it something different? Is it something bigger? Is it a curse that's attached to Michael Myers? Is Michael Myers the curse himself? And what's interesting is that they didn't use the actual definition or one of the actual meanings behind the symbol of thorn. It's basically the thorn that sticks one when they're not careful enough. Why not run with that angle? That doesn't make sense to me. In fact, the symbol itself is called, I believe that the pronunciation is Thurazaz. Why change the myth behind it when it actually kind of makes sense with Michael Myers? It also represents the creative male energy, which we even see in Michael Myers throughout the franchise with some of the kills that he has. He likes to kind of be weirdly artistic with the way he kills people, where, you know, you saw it with Bob in the first movie where he, you know, sticks him up and does the head turn and everything, and he's weirdly artistic and likes to see his work. So why not run with the actual definition of the symbol and make it a mystery about Michael Myers? Is the symbol influencing him? Is he influencing himself using the symbol? Is the symbol a representation of some kind of curse? Is Michael the curse himself? That's the way that you really should have ran with it. And in my opinion, introducing a cult where you introduce this weird incest angle where he has a child that he has to sacrifice, to me, if it's his final sacrifice could have been Jamie. He didn't have to mate with his niece, she was like, what, 14 in that movie technically? He didn't have to do that. The child did not have to be born for Michael to make his final sacrifice. He just had to kill off his bloodline. Why couldn't he just have killed Jamie? They have Jamie. You know, it just didn't make sense to me. And the things that they did in that movie, some of the things really bothered me. And having watched it again, the ending of that movie especially just really bothers me, and the fact that where they took this thing. You know, you could have saved Thorn if you did it right. And the right way to do Thorn, in my opinion, is to make it the new mystery that surrounds Michael Myers. We don't know what this is. We don't know where the symbol came from. We don't know how it appeared in the Myers house, how it appeared on Michael's wrist. We don't know what it means to Michael Myers. We see maybe what it means if you want to dive into the history behind it, but at the same time, that could be the new mystery that surrounds Michael Myers. That's what can make him scary again, because we don't know what his abilities are now. We don't know what he's capable of now. We don't know where this curse is going to take him. It really sometimes bothers me, despite the fact that I quite liked the atmosphere of Halloween 6, and despite the fact that it's a mess and I will always defend it. I bought a freaking Laserdisc copy of Halloween 6. I enjoy the movie quite a bit, and I went out of my way to try to find the producer's cut without having to buy the huge box set, because I don't have the money to buy the box set, and I almost bought the box set, not only because it contained the producer's cut of the movie, but because, you know, it's this awesome set that includes the producer's cut of Halloween 6. I genuinely enjoy the movie, but it bothers me so much where they took the direction of this Thorn idea. And it starts all in Halloween 5, and I don't hate Halloween 5. In fact, I quite enjoyed it. It's the first Halloween movie I watched, but it's such a huge waste of potential to take this amazing idea and this amazing concept of a curse that might be controlling Michael Myers, or whether Michael Myers is the curse himself and the symbol is a representation of what he is. It's just such a miss of potential, in my opinion. They completely missed the boat on this one, and I can't believe that you know, looking back at it, what they did for this movie. And like I said, it starts with Halloween 5, and I cannot put all the blame on Halloween 6, and even the problems that were in it, you know, they had issues while shooting Halloween 5, they had issues while shooting Halloween 6, but despite that, you know, it's not that hard to write a compelling story, especially when you have a great concept in front of you. And it's also not that hard to ruin it, and I realize that, but somebody needed to speak up in these meetings that they had about this movie, or somebody needed to speak up on set and say, hey, this isn't going to work. And in my opinion, if you would have done it the way that I laid out a second ago, not saying that I should be, you know, the new, you know, Don of this movie, I should be the guy who comes in and saves the Halloween franchise, just rebooting everything, but that's an interesting way, especially if you want to go back and fix it. If you want to go back and fix the franchise with editing, you can change things, you can pick up with new movies, you can redo movies. That's the beauty of film, and that's the beauty of changing things, and in my opinion, that's how you save the Halloween franchise if you want to continue it from that original storyline, and that's how you would fix the concept of Thorn being in the Halloween movies. And that's going to cap off everything that I have to talk about today as far as how you fix Thorn. Let me know how you like this video. Maybe if you want to see me do this with another franchise and find something that they introduced that they really ruin later on, I'll gladly jump in and do. Halloween is a franchise that means a lot to me, and I have a lot of passion towards Halloween. I personally didn't hate the whole Thorn idea. In fact, I have a tattoo on my wrist of the Thorn symbol, and about 20% of the reason I got the tattoo was because it was in the Halloween movies. The rest was the actual meaning, with the creative male energy, getting over your fears, and the thorn that sticks you when you're not careful enough. I like that whole element. I love that they introduced another supernatural element to Michael. I just think they did it the completely wrong way. Tell me what you guys think down below, and tell me what you want to see from me next. Until next time, I have been President CM, and I am signing out, letting you know I hope you have a great day and that you subscribe down below. I'll see you next time.